Alright, so I just quickly wanted to get this out of the way. Well, not quickly, but I'm going to try to read 4 pages today on my Bible reading because yesterday I forgot to read my Bible. So I didn't forget. I kind of put it off and then I went to bed, so that was my fault. But today I'm going to try to read 4 pages. 2 Samuel 15, Samuel 16, 17, and 18. So I'm just going to start right now. And hopefully I'll be able to read 4 pages. So I'm just going to quickly start now. But while he was there, he sent spies to every part of Israel to incite rebellion against the king. As soon as you hear trumpets, his message read, you will know that Absalom has been crowned in Hebron. He took 200 men from Jerusalem with him as guests, but they knew nothing of his intentions. While he was offering the sacrifice, he went for, I don't know that name, one of David's counselors who lived in Gilah. Whatever his name was, declared for Absalom. As did more and more others. So the conspiracy became very strong. A messenger soon arrived in Jerusalem to tell King David, all Israel has joined Absalom in a conspiracy against you. Then we must flee at once, or it will be too late, was David's instant response to his men. If we get out of the city before he arrives, both we and the city of Jerusalem will be saved. We are with you, his allies replied. Do as you think best. So the king and his household set out at once. He left no one behind except 10 of his young wives to keep the palace in order. David paused at the edge of the city to let his troops move past him to lead the way. 600 Gittite, whatever that was, who has come with him from Gath and the, I don't know that name, Plethius? Plethites. But suddenly the king turned to Italy, I don't know, the captain of 600 Gitteites. Go on back with your men to Jerusalem to your king, for you are a guest in Israel as a foreigner in exile. It seems but yesterday that you arrived. And now, today, should I force you to wander with us? Who knows where? Go on back and take your troops with you, and may the Lord be merciful to you. But Ittai replied, I vow by God and by your own life that wherever you go, I will go, no matter what happens, whether it means life or death. So David replied, all right, come with us. Then Ittai and his 600 men and their families went along. There was a deep sadness throughout the city as the king and his retinue, passed by, crossed Kidron Brook, and went out into the country. Zadar, I don't know those names, and the Levites took the Ark of the Covenant of God and set it down beside the road until everyone had passed. Then, following David's instructions, Zadok took the Ark and the tabernacle again. Took the Ark back into the city. If the Lord sees fit, David said, he will bring me back to see the Ark and the tabernacle again. But if he is through with me, well, let him do what seems best to him. Then the king told Zadok, I don't know, look, here's my plan. Return quickly to the city with your son and Abathior's son, Jonathan. I will stop at the ford of the Jordan River and wait there for a message from you. Let me know what happens in Jerusalem before I disappear into the wilderness." So Zadok and Abithiar carried the ark of God back into the city and stayed there. David walked up the road that led to the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered and his feet were bare as they climbed the mountain. Oh, sorry. Were bare as a sign of mourning, and the people who were with him covered their heads and wept as they climbed the mountain. When someone told David whatever that is, his advisor was backing Absalom, David prayed, "O Lord, please make," whatever his name is, "give Absalom foolish advice." As they reached the spot at the top of the Mount of Olives, where people worshipped God, David found Hasuiah the Archite waiting for him, with torn clothing and earth upon his head. But David told him, "If you go with me, you will only be a burden. Return to Jerusalem and tell Absalom, I will counsel you as I did your father." Or maybe I will console, I'm not too sure. Then you can frustrate and counter Ahithophel's advice. The priests are there. Tell them the plans that are being made to capture me, and they will send their sons and Jonathan to find me and tell me what is going on. So David's friend Hushai returned to the city, getting there just as Absalom arrived. David was just past the top of the hill when Zibiah, the manager of Mesopotamia, someone's household, caught up with him. He was leading 2 donkeys loaded with 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisin, and 100 branches of grapes, and a small barrel of wine. "What are these for?" the king asked. And he replied, "The donkeys are for your people to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit are for the young men to eat. The wine is to be taken with you into the wilderness for anyone who becomes faint." "And where is," whatever that is, the king asked him. "He stayed at Jerusalem," Zebah replied. He said, "Now I'll go back to the king today. I will get back to the kingdom of my father Saul." In that case, the king told Ziba, "I give you everything he owns." Thank you, sir." Ziba, whatever that name is, Ziba replied. As David and his party passed Bethrim, a man came out of the village cursing them. It was, whatever that name is, the son of Gera, a member of Saul's family. He threw stones at the king and the king's officers and all the mighty warriors who surrounded them. "Get out of here, you murderer, you scoundrel," he shouted at David. The Lord is paying you back for murdering King Saul and his family. You stole his throne, and now the Lord has given it to your son Absalom. At least you will taste some of your own medicine, you murderer. Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king?" Whatever that name is demanded. "Let me go over and strike off his head." "No," the king said. "If the Lord has told him to curse me, who am I to say no? My own son is trying to kill me, and this Benjamite is merely cursing me. Let him alone, for no doubt the Lord has told him to do it. And perhaps the Lord will see that I am being wronged, and will bless me because of these curses." So David and his men continued on, and Shimei kept pace with them on a nearby hillside, cursing as he went along, throwing stones at David and tossing dust into the air. The king and all those who were with him were weary by that time. By the time they reached whatever that is, so they stayed there a while and rested. Meanwhile, Absalom and his men arrived at Jerusalem, accompanied by whatever that name is, Ahithhophel. When David's friend Hushai and Archite arrived, he went immediately to see Absalom. I think that's Absalom, Absalom. Long live the king, he exclaimed. Long live the king. Is this the way to treat your friend David? Treat your friend David? Absalom asked him. Why aren't you with him? Because I work for the man who is chosen by the Lord and of Israel, and by Israel. Oops. And anyway, why shouldn't I? I helped your father, and now I will help you. Then Absalom turned to whatever his name is and asked him, what shall I do next? He told him, go and sleep with your father's wives, for he has left them there to keep the house. Then all Israel will know that you have insulted him beyond the possibility of reconciliation, and they will all choose ranks behind you. They will all close ranks behind you. So a tent was erected on the roof of the palace where everybody could see it, and Absalom went into the tent and lay with his father's wives. Absalom did whatever his name was told him to, just as David had, for every word whatever that is spoke was as wise as though it had come directly from the mouth of God. Sorry for me not really reading too good today. I'm also just kind of I'm just not in a good mood because, again, I did really good yesterday with my lust, but today I gave in, and I'm just I don't know, I'm just annoyed at myself, so I'm sorry for not reading the best right now, but I'm just annoyed, but I'll get better. I'll be getting in a better mood, hopefully. Hopefully today I'll edit a video, and I'll put that out, and then I'll feel a little bit better, and then I'm hoping that tonight I can do a lot better. I can just go to bed and wake up like I did yesterday, and then I'm just gonna try to do better. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Because again, I keep listening to God. I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and then I'll just randomly, today, I was supposed to read my Bible very early, and I just kept sitting there procrastinating, doing whatever else on my phone. And then, of course, I did something stupid, and I just, now I'm just annoyed at myself, and I'm just angry. But I'm not, my whole day isn't ruined or anything. I'm just upset because I made a mistake, and that's just how it is. But I'm going to try to do better tomorrow, and I'm going to try to do better for the rest of this day. Now, whatever his name is said, give me 12,000 men to start out after David tonight. I will come upon him while he is very weary and discouraged, and he and his troops will be thrown into a panic, and everyone will run away, and I will kill only the king and let all those who are with him live, and restore them to you. Absalom and the elders of Israel approved of the plan, but Absalom said, ask Hushai the Archite what he thinks about this. When Hushai arrived, Absalom told him whatever name was had said. What is your opinion? Absalom asked him. Should we follow Ahithophel's advice? If not, speak up. Well, Hushai replied, this time I think Athai has made a mistake. You know your father and his men. They are mighty warriors and are probably as upset as a mother bear who has been robbed of her cubs. And your father is an old scoundrel, and he isn't going... soldier, sorry. And he isn't going to be spending the night among the troops. He has probably already hidden in some pit or cave, and when he comes out and attacks and a few of your men fall, there will be a panic among your troops, and everyone will start shouting that your men are being slaughtered. Then even the bravest of them, though they have hearts of lions, will be paralyzed with fear, for all Israel knows what a mighty man your father is and how courageous his soldiers are. What I suggest is that you mobilize the entire army of Israel, bringing them from as far away as Dan and Beersheba, so that you will have a huge force, and I think that you should personally lead the troops. Then when we find him, we can destroy his entire army so that not one of them is left alive. And if David has escaped into the city, you will have the entire army of Israel there at your command, and we can take ropes and drag the walls of the city into the nearest valley until every stone is thrown down. Then Absalom and all of the men of Israel said, Hushai's advice is better than whatever that name is, for the Lord has enraged. Wait, what? I don't know what that word is. To defeat the council of whatever his name is, which really was the better plan, so that he could bring despair upon Absalom. Then Hushai reported to Zadok and Abithier, the priests, had said, and what he himself had suggested instead. Quick, he told them, find David and urge him not to stay at the ford of the Jordan River tonight. He must go across at once into the wilderness behind, otherwise he will die. And his entire army with him. Jonathan and whatever his name is had been staying at Enroll, I don't know, so as not to be seen, and entering and leaving the city. Arrangements had been made for a servant girl to carry to them the message they were to take to King David, but a boy saw them leaving. Saw them leaving to go to David and told Absalom about it. Meanwhile, they escaped to I don't know what that is, where a man hid them inside a well in his backyard. The man's wife put a cloth over the top of the well with grain on it to dry out in the sun. Oh my gosh, dude. So no one suspected they were there. Dang. I don't know why that word tripped me up so badly. When Absalom's men arrived and asked her if she had seen Ahimaaz, Ahimaaz, I'm going to say Ahimaaz and Jonathan, she said they had crossed the brook and were gone. They looked for them without success and returned to Jerusalem. Then the two men crawled out of the well and hurried on to King David. Quick, they told them, cross the Jordan tonight. And they told him how... I definitely can't pronounce that name. It's the same Ahithophel, had advised that he be captured and killed. So David and all the people with him went across during the night and were all on the other bank before dawn. Meanwhile, whatever his name was, publicly disgraced. When Absalom refused his advice, set his affairs in order, and hanged himself. Okay. So he died and was buried beside his father. David soon arrived at Mahaniah. Meanwhile, Absalom had mobilized the entire army of Israel and was leading the men across the Jordan River. Absalom had appointed Amasiah as general of the army, replacing Joab. Amaziah was Joab's second cousin. His father was Ithira, Ishmaelite what I don't know what that is. And his mother was Abigail, the daughter of Naish. I think not. I'm sorry for still being bad at pronouncing these words. I never looked them up, unfortunately, so I'm still kind of bad at them. I just do not know how to pronounce these names. Who was the sister of Joab, mother... I don't know. Absalom and the Israel army now captured in the land... Oh, now camped in the land of Gilead. When David arrived at... I don't know that name. He was warmly greeted by Shabi, son of Naath, and Rabbah, son of leader. Okay. They brought him and those who were with him mats to sleep on, cooking pots, serving bowls, wheat and barley flour, parched grain, beans, lentils, honey, butter, and cheese. For they said, "You must be very tired and hungry, and thirsty after your long march through the wilderness." David now appointed regional, I have no idea, colonels and company commanders over his troops. A third were placed under Joab's brother, Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, and a third under Ittai, the Gilteite. The king planned to lead the army himself, but his men objected strongly. "You mustn't do it," they said, "for if we have to turn and run and half of us die, it will make no difference to them. They will be looking only for you. You are worth 10,000 of us, and it is better that you stay here in the city and..." Oh, wait, what? Oh, and send us help if we need it. Sorry, I'm laying in like an awkward position right now to read this Bible. Oops. Sorry, I almost ended the recording as well. "Well, whatever you think is best," the king finally replied. So he stood at the gate of the city, and all his troops passed by. And the king commanded Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, "For my sake, deal gently with young Absalom." And all the troops heard the king give them this charge. Excuse me, I'm burping now. So the battle began in the forest of Ephraim, and the Israeli troops were beaten back by David's men. There was a great slaughter, and 20,000 men laid down their lives that day. The battle raged all across the countryside, and more men disappeared in the forest than were killed. During the battle, Absalom came upon some of David's men as they fled on his mule. It went beneath the thick boughs of a great oak tree, and his hair caught in the branches. His mule went on, leaving him dangling in the air. One of David's men saw him and told Joab, "What, you saw him there and didn't kill him?" Joab demanded. I would have rewarded you handsomely and made you a commissioned officer." "For $1 million, I wouldn't do it," the man replied. "We all heard the king say to you, and Abishai and Ittai, 'For my sake, please do not harm young Absalom.' And if I had betrayed the king by killing his son, and the king would certainly find out who did it, you yourself would be the first to accuse me." "Enough of this nonsense," Joab said. Then he took the 3 daggers and plunged them into the heart of Absalom as he dangled alive from the oak. 10 of Joab's younger armor bearers. What's an armor bearer again? Armor bearers. Okay, well, yeah. Armor bearers then surrounded Absalom and finished him off. Then Joab blew the trumpet, and his men returned from chasing the army of Israel. They threw Absalom's body into a deep pit in the forest and piled a great heap of stones over it, and the army of Israel fled to their homes. Absalom had built a mountain a monument to himself in the king's valley, for he said, I have no sons to carry on my name. He called it Absalom's monument, as it is still known today. Then Zadok's, whatever it is, his son Ahimaaz said, Let me run to King David with the good news that the Lord has saved him from his enemy Absalom. No, Joab told him, it wouldn't be good news to the king that his son is dead. You can be my messenger some other time. Then Joab said to the man from Cush, Go tell the king what you have seen. The man bowed and ran off. But Ahimaaz pleaded with Joab, Please let me go too. No, we don't need you now, my boy. Joab replied, There is no further news to send. Yes, but let me go away, he begged. And Joab finally said, All right, go ahead. Then Ahimaaz took a shortcut across the plain, and got there ahead of the man from Cush. David was sitting at the gate of the valley when the watchman climbed to the stairs to his post at the top of the wall. He saw a lone man running toward them. He shouted the news down to David, and the king replied, If he is alone, he has news. As the messenger came closer, the watchman saw another man running toward them. He shouted down, Here comes another one. Oops, dropped my phone. And the king replied, He will have more news. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to read right now. This is like a 27-minute video. I've read 4 pages. And again, every time that I mess up and every day that I make a video, I want to be fully transparent on how I'm dealing with my lust battle, because that is my main battle. With cussing, I'm doing a lot better. With smoking my weed, I'm doing a lot better. I don't smoke that much anymore. But right now, lust is my main problem. That is my main issue that I'm trying my hardest to get away from, and it is very difficult for me. But I can see a big change. I can definitely, I've never, since I was probably around 8, I think, I've never been able to get multiple days clean. Because yes, I started watching porn, and I started having these horrible thoughts when I was 8 years old. Maybe even earlier than that. Because I've been I've been through a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things that I definitely wasn't supposed to see when I was a kid. I got put into a lot of situations that I should not have been in. And it's I'm not a victim in any way, but it's just, things have happened to me, and I've done things that just made my problems so much worse. And I'm finally getting to a point where I can actually take breaks, and I can actually get multiple days out of the week when I'm free. And just every time that I do give in, it makes me feel so disgusted, and it makes me just hate myself so much more. And that's something that I'm dealing with, and I think a lot of people are dealing with that as well. But I just want to say this. If you feel what I feel when you do it, when you give in, you feel that condemnation, and you're starting to you don't really hate yourself for it, but you just sit there like, oh, I could have been so much better. I could have not done it. My day would have gone so much better if I didn't do it. And you're feeling this condemnation, and you're kind of feeling that jump like, okay, well, tonight I'm not going to do it. Tonight I'm going to try to be better. That is a good thing. That is a good thing that you don't want to do it. You don't want to give in anymore. But we still need to try our hardest to not give in. That's the issue. When I'm alone, whether it's in the bathroom or whether I'm in my room, when I'm alone and I don't have anything to do, I need to get up and do something, whether that's push-ups, whether that's going outside, whether that's reading my Bible like I should have done earlier. Whatever it is, I need to just keep convincing myself to do it. And I need to get off my phone. I need to stop getting on my phone all day long. So I set timers on my apps and everything. Hopefully that'll kind of stop me from, being on my phone the whole time. And I'm just going to keep letting people know, and I'm going to keep talking about God as well, because I already know that He knows what I've done, and He already knows exactly what I'm saying right now and all of my thoughts, and He knows that I want to be better. And honestly, I can definitely see a change. I can see a big change. I've been doing a lot better with myself, and I've been making pretty good strides. I just keep turning back into this sin, and I don't want to keep doing that. But I'm not going to give up. Every day that I wake up, every day that I'm breathing, I'm going to take that as an opportunity to do better and to try to get closer to God and to try to just be a little bit better every day, whether that's with cussing, with lust, with smoking, whatever it is, I want to try to get better. So again, I just wanted to be transparent. That's what I'm dealing with. Hopefully I can get a little bit better, and we'll just see. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Today I failed, so I have this little sheet that I have, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I do like a check if I did a good day. I do an X if I gave in, and then I'll do like a check and an X if I didn't fully give in, but I still was lusting a lot. So that's what I'm doing. But today I definitely got an X. Hopefully, I'm really trying throughout this whole week. I'm going to try my hardest to get all check marks for these, for the 6 days of the week. And I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to try my very hardest. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to make any promises to God because I don't want to promise something if I can't do it. But I know that with God's help, I can be a little bit better. So I'm just going to keep trying. But thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate all of you. God bless you all. I hope you all have an amazing and beautiful day. And peace out.